in this last video, I really want to address how you can tap on your children or for your children. So I'm going to break it up into age groups here. So for babies, so little babies and little ones. So I'm talking about children that are pre-verbal. You can tap and you can say the words for them. So you can tap on them if that's okay. For them, some babies don't like it. If that's the case, do it for yourself. Some children don't like it. So what you do is, first thing you do is you tune into their emotion. And if you've been following my parenting program, you'll know the first thing that we need to do with children that are in emotional overwhelm is to name their emotion. We need to give them a vocabulary and a way of tuning in. And the earlier that we do that, the better. So even as a baby, we can tune in. And we can feel that by connecting with our heart and connecting with the child. Now you can do that by touching the child or just looking at them and getting a sense of what's going on for them. And you can do that by putting yourself in their shoes, in their body, seeing the world through their eyes. What are they feeling at that moment? Tuning into that emotion, you can pick up their hand or you can tap on yourself and say, even though you're feeling tired and cranky and you just can't get to sleep, it's too overwhelming. You'll be okay. I'm here to support you. So we're acknowledging the emotion and we're just giving them an affirmation saying we're here for them. Top of the head, this overwhelming feeling. Get a tune. Tune into where they might be feeling that. In your belly. This overwhelming feeling. This overwhelming feeling, this overwhelming feeling, this overwhelming feeling. And you'll notice once you start doing a few rounds of this, your child will start calming down, because the more that you tune in and empathize with them, it has a neurological effect on their brain of calming down the neurons, and they start calming down and you can connect more effectively with them and get them to be settled. Now the next age group up, the kids that can actually speak even a little bit, you can start helping them to say their words. And one of the techniques that we talk about in the parenting program is tell the story. So if you've got a child that's had a particular difficult experience, and maybe it's at preschool or daycare or whatever, and they've had a really upsetting experience and they're still quite shaken by it, this is a perfect time to use this technique. You can say to them, put them on your knee, you can say, can mummy help you with that? Or can daddy help you with that? Pop them on your knee and then ask them to tell you the story. And as they tell you the story, grab their little hand and just start tapping. Just say, mummy's just going to help you. Don't mind me, and just tap. And remember, you don't need to tap really hard. It's a really gentle tap so it doesn't bother them. And often what happens is it puts them into a kind of a trance, and that is another sign that you're helping to access that unconscious part of the brain. And the more that you help them tell the story, and as they tell the story, you can empathize with them, and you can also give them a bigger picture of what was happening. So you can throw the logic in only after you've empathized with them and let them express their emotions. Then get them to tell the story and check on them and say, if that bothered you this much before, how much is it now? So often with children we can get them to show us with their hands how much it bothers us. This much or this much, and we want them to eventually get to this point so they can tell the story and they can say it doesn't bother me at all. So that's a good outcome. Now with older children like teenagers, often what I do is I just say to them, can I show you something a little bit freaky but it kind of works? And they go, okay. And then I might say to them, all right, you know that particular thing you were just talking about, how it really bothered you that so-and-so said this. Can I help you with that? And they'll go, uh-huh. And they'll look at you very strange, and you can say, all right, so I want you to tune in and think about how that feels. What do you feel when you think of that? And they might say, I feel really angry. I feel really angry at my friend. You say, all right, where do you feel that anger in your body? And they'll go, all right, my chest. Or they might say, I don't know. Just say, if you did know, where would it be? And they generally say, okay, it's in my head. They'll pick somewhere and you say, okay, out of 10, what would you give it? 10 being you're really angry and 0 meaning not at all. And they'll go, 8. All right, just follow me. This is weird, but it kind of works. And then you start tapping. Even though you feel really angry you're okay. You'll be okay. And so don't use things like, I deeply love and accept myself or anything like that with a teenager. You'll get a really strange look and they will refuse to say it. So it has to be something that is age appropriate for all of the children that you're working with. I'll be okay, I'm really angry at so-and-so. 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 I'm really angry. All the way through, get them to breathe in, breathe out, peace, and then say to them, all right, just check in. Is it still at an 8? Has it gone down? And if it goes down, they'll look at you and go, that's freaky. And you'll go, yes, it is, and it works. And one of the things I always teach teenagers, and sometimes even adults, is that because we have acupressure points all over our body, there's some really cool points you can do in public. So if you're having an anxiety attack or they're really anxious or desperate to do something and they know they shouldn't, this is what you can do. You can teach them, all right, just do that, no one's really looking at you. You can hide it in your lap. Even though I'm feeling really anxious and I don't want to show anything, I don't want to embarrass myself, I'll be okay. And then one of the points is on the outside of the thumb. Not the inside looking towards your finger, but outside of the thumb. Right on the corner of the nail. And you can wrap your finger around it and just tap in that corner. And then you use the thumb for the next finger, the same point on the corner. And then the next finger on the corner. And then the next finger on the corner. And then the next finger. So it just looks like they're doing this really weird thing with their fingers, which a lot of teenagers do with coins and pens anyway, so no one really takes notice of it. But you can do that in the classroom, out in the field, in the boardroom, wherever you are, feeling whatever you're feeling to bring yourself down. That's a really handy thing to do.